everybody. I am going to be replacing the spear on Sven here. Sven is from the Zephyri starter box in Arena Rex. And the Arena Rex minis are amazingly detailed. They are super, super nice. Unfortunately, they are also incredibly fragile. And in this case, I'm trying to limit the fragility of the spear by replacing it with some brass. This is brass wire. I think it's just a hair thicker than the spear, but it should work just fine. And when it's all done, I'm going to have a really, really strong spear that will not break. The tip might break, but we'll figure that out. So for now, what I'm going to do, by the way, I have this really cheesy pair of calipers that I use to measure my brass, which is about 1 millimeter. It's just shy of 1 millimeter. And the spear is smaller. And see, without having the like a digital readout, I can tell that it's more than 1/2 millimeter, probably 3/4 of a millimeter. So the brass is definitely larger, but hopefully not too large. The other problem I have is that the closest drill bit I have is a little small, but I'll show you how to deal with that. But for now, what I'm going to do is clip it off of the runner here. I don't have to be too careful. I'm going to actually trim my brass up to be about the right length right now. And I'm going to go a little bit longer than... I can always clip this down if I need to, but I want to get it in the ballpark. Okay. So that's ready to go. So now I'm going to try to shave this off of the hand, and I want to get it... I want to get a really smooth, straight cut with my knife, because that'll give me an easier surface to work from when I'm drilling this out. Wow, that does not want to... There we go. And the other side... There we go. Okay. Now I've got this tiny nubbin with a little handle, and I'm going to start the drilling process with an X-Acto knife. I find the tip of an X-Acto to be a nice starter. It tends to be easier to get it where you want, although in this case, I mean, it's such a tiny area. But you can usually, the tip, and maybe my problem here is that this tip isn't as sharp as I thought it was. The tip is usually so sharp that it'll hold itself in place really nicely. Maybe I'll check the other side. Let's see if the other side is... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's really the issue here. the tip of this needs to be brand new, and this one isn't. And I don't have any spare blades. Okay, it's good enough. So obviously this doesn't create a smooth hole. It creates like a cone shape, which is kind of perfect, really, because it's going to help guide that drill bit in. But that also means you don't want to go too deep with this, because you're going to end up drilling a wider hole than you want. But you can go in a little bit, so the bit has something to fall into there. I'd like to be able to do this on the table. But trying to make it so that you guys can see too is kind of a bear. All right, in the hands. And the biggest problem here is that I can't really see how straight my drill is, and right now it looks like not quite straight enough. I need to go this way. There we go. I'm trying to do this very slowly so that I can course correct if I need to. And yeah, so there's actually, the hand is kind of at an angle. You gotta keep checking where the potential exit point is. And from all different directions too, because it might look like you've got it dead on, and then you realize that, you know, maybe it's right this way, but it's not right this way. So you just keep checking. Uh-oh, you grabbed there a little bit. And, oh, that's not bad. Let's see if you can see it. It came out right there, kind of next to where I wanted it, but that's not too bad. So here's the next issue, and the next issue is that this drill bit being a little bit small means that this hole isn't big enough. So what I'm going to do is widen the hole by sort of using this a little bit like a sanding tool. I'm just going to keep spinning it and driving it back and forth, hopefully in the direction of where I kind of missed. Alright, and then I can check the size. Not yet. I do have a bigger drill bit that's like too big, and it might be like way too big, and I don't want to break the hand. I could also chuck this up into my Dremel But again, then I don't have much of leeway in terms of, you know, it's going to go from just right to too big or broken, or the hand could just fly away and disappear. So that's not a good option either. Alright, and I can also continue to widen with the X-Acto. And again, this at least gives me some finite control. We're almost there. You know, I was just thinking one more thing I could do, and maybe I will. Maybe I will. I'm going to heat this up with my hairdryer and see if that'll do it. Oh, well, it's in there. There it goes. And interestingly, it did break through a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Broke through a little bit near the thumb. But that's okay, because it still looks like he's grabbing, and I can actually trim off a little bit of that excess there. And the hand will actually just look more realistic. So now the next thing I kind of want to do, if I can, and I don't know if I can do it with this, I have two options for the spear blade, and one would be to see if I can use this. I don't remember which side is the I think what I could do is, actually I think this is the spear tip side. So what I'm thinking about doing is using the Dremel to file that to a point, and that would allow me to then drill this out a bit and insert and glue. First I'm going to double check which direction this goes, because I don't remember. I think, yeah, it's got to be, if that's the thumb there, then yes, it is that side. Okay, I'm going to take the Dremel and do some sharpening. Alright, so now I've got a nice pointy point on that. Let's see if we can just drill out. I don't know, we'll see. This might just be too narrow. Yeah, that drill bit won't even work on that. This resin they use is really kind of spongy, rubbery almost. Now in this case, the way I sharpened this, the haft is in a kind of cone shape, and so if I just use the X-Acto to drill this out, there should be a relatively matching cone shape for it to insert into. Look at that. Now that's obviously going to be kind of the weak point on this. There is a reasonable likelihood of the head coming loose. But we're going to give it a decent dab of super glue. Dip the haft in there. Get rid of some of the excess. Come on. The tough part here is going to be getting it straight. There we go. Not bad. And that is certainly a lot more tough than the original. So I think that's going to work out just fine. But that's going to be it. I mean, that's it. I just wanted to be able to show you a quick, well, you know, this video didn't end up being all that quick. But anyway, like a quick thing that, these are regular things that I have to do and consider. And, you know, the Arena Rex Minis are incredibly beautiful. Look at that rubberiness. And I think this is, they use this resin as a way to combat the issue of how delicate these things are, but that also means that this is a lot like the original fine cast material, whereas that spear would not hold its shape in any kind of heat. So you'd end up with just a bleh looking thing on there, but not anymore. Now it's super rigid and very tough, and the only thing you'd have to worry about is whether or not that tip is going to stay on there. But you know what, if it turned out that this ended up being a pain in the butt and maybe it came off, sculpting a spear tip out of green stuff is not a difficult process at all. That would be something that you could easily do. In fact, if you're, you know, new to the whole green stuff thing, that's a good first project. But that's going to do it for now. I hope you found that useful and or interesting, and I'm going to talk to you all later. Ta!